Taretha is the daughter of Tamis and Klania. She had a brother who sadly passed away as a toddler due to an illness. She is also the surrogate sister to Thrall. Her influence on Thrall's life was profound, shaping him into the leader he became. Just as our own histories shape us, Taretha not only saved Thrall's life, but also played a pivotal role in the growth of the Horde into what it is today. But who was she? What did she do? And what happened to her? Let's find out. Thrall was discovered among the bodies of his family while Aedelus Blackmore and Taretha's father Tamis were out hunting one day. Blackmore, known for his drunkenness and abusive nature, was far from a good person. Tamis, who had been Blackmore's personal servant, received a promotion of sorts when he agreed to care for Thrall. Now at the young age of 5, Taretha became an unlikely guardian angel for Thrall, ensuring his survival in the harsh confines of Durnhold. While others overlooked his infantile needs due to them not realizing he was a baby, which seems odd, but I guess they really weren't too familiar with orcs, Taretha's keen observation revealed his inability to consume solid food without teeth. Her innocent revelation led to a swift adjustment in Thrall's diet, allowing him to flourish under the care of the Foxton family, nurtured by Taretha's own mother. As Thrall grew, Taretha remained a steadfast companion, her affection for the green-skinned child unwavering. However, their bond faced an inevitable separation when Thrall was taken from their house, leaving Taretha heartbroken for the loss of her cherished little brother. Years later, thrust into her preteen years, Taretha found herself entrusted with a new role, delivering books on military strategy to Thrall. He ended up becoming a gladiator within Durnhold. This task, orchestrated by Aedelus Blackmore's military advisor, Sargent, aimed to mold the young orc into a formidable warrior. Yet Taretha seized the opportunity to maintain a clandestine connection with Thrall, utilizing the pages of the books as a covert means of communication, all while concealing her sharp intellect from prying eyes. About a decade passed. Taretha found herself in a position as Blackmore's mistress, and was quite rough with her as she was observed with bruises on her wrist by Thrall in her early 20s. She despised him, but felt she had to keep doing it so her family was safe from Blackmore. Sometime later, an unexpected visitor arrived in the form of Arthas Menethil, curious to witness Thrall's combat prowess. As night descended, Arthas lingered within the keep, where Blackmore, in an attempt to curry favor, dispatched Taretha to entertain their guest. However, contrary to expectations, Arthas and Taretha engaged in mere conversation, their interaction devoid of any intimate undertones. Curiously, Arthas remarked upon Taretha's resemblance to Jaina in appearance, drawing a subtle parallel between the two women. Later the next day, after enduring a brutal beating in the arena, Thrall found solace in the unwavering support of Taretha, who helped him in his fervent desire to break free from the confines of Durnhold. In a daring act of defiance, Taretha orchestrated a diversion by setting the encampment ablaze and releasing the captive animals, providing Thrall with the opportunity to slip away unnoticed under the cover of the chaos. Despite Thrall's insistence that she accompany him, she remained steadfast, torn between the loyalty to her friend and the safety of her family. As Thrall departed, she gifted him a necklace adorned with a crescent moon emblem, a silent promise of aid in times of need. Years later, Thrall, now war chief of an expanding horde, sought Taretha's assistance in negotiating with Blackmore. However, she remained resolute in her belief that reasoning with the tyrant was futile. Despite Thrall's offer of protection, she chose to stay behind, unwilling to abandon her family to the impending conflict. Tragically, Blackmore's paranoia led to Taretha's betrayal being uncovered, resulting in her imprisonment and eventual sentencing to death. In a heart-wrenching twist of fate, Blackmore, consumed by alcohol-fueled rage, sealed her tragic demise with a fatal decree. As dawn broke, Thrall led his forces to confront Blackmore, demanding the release of his people. In a drunken stupor, Blackmore engaged in a slurred exchange with Thrall, culminating in a horrifying act of brutality, hurling Taretha's severed head from the battlements. The sight of Taretha's lifeless form shattered Thrall's stoic facade, unleashing a torrent of grief that he had never experienced before. Consumed by sorrow and rage at the loss of his cherished friend, sister, and confidant, the Shaman Warchief vowed vengeance upon the perpetrator. With a heavy heart and a determined spirit, Thrall ordered his army to lay siege to Durnhold, engaging Blackmore in a fateful duel that would determine the keep's fate. In a clash of titans, justice prevailed as Thrall emerged victorious, vanquishing Blackmoor and liberating the stronghold from his tyranny. In a final act of closure, Thrall besieged the spirit of the earth to obliterate Durnhold Keep, erasing the dark memories of its past and leaving it a mere relic of history. With the keep evacuated and its former leader defeated, Thrall ensured that justice was served, sending a warning to the Alliance before departing into the horizon, leaving behind only remnants of a once proud fortress. In the wake of Thrall's ascension to Warchief, he dispatched a group of brave Orc volunteers to Durnhold Keep, tasked with unraveling the mysteries surrounding the Syndicate activity in the region. Their mission held a dual purpose: to investigate and to retrieve Taretha's necklace, now in the possession of Elisa, a mistress to Lord Aladin Perinold, Syndicate's leader. Despite their valiant efforts, the mission faced initial setbacks when Guldur, Droll, and Togthar were apprehended by the Syndicate, leaving only Krusk to flee the scene. Undeterred, Krusk sought aid from the Horde adventurers, forging an alliance to rescue his captured comrades and reclaim the precious necklace. In a daring showdown, they stormed Durnhold Keep, confronting Lord Aladin himself. Through grit and determination, they emerged victorious, securing both the release of their allies and the coveted necklace, bringing justice to the traitorous Syndicate leader in the process. Now we deal with some time travel stuff from the Infinite Dragonflight, who are trying to make sure Thrall doesn't become Warchief. Taretha played a crucial role in Thrall's daring escape from Durnhold Keep, but the tale took a dark turn when adventurers delved into Old Hillsbrad and uncovered a chilling truth. The sinister Infinite Dragonflight had seized Taretha, holding her captive in the treacherous clutches of Terran Mill, just west of Durnhold. Without Taretha's selfless intervention, Thrall's escape would have been a distant dream. Determined to right this wrong, adventurers embarked on a journey through the mystical caverns of time. There, they aided Thrall in his daring flight from Durnhold, confronting numerous perils along the way. But their quest was far from over. Guided by courage and determination, they ventured into the heart of danger, facing off against the formidable infinite dragon known as Epoch Hunter. With skill and valor, they rescued Taretha from her captivity, ensuring that her pivotal role in Thrall's escape would never be forgotten. But sadly unable to save her from her doomed fate at the hands of Blackmoor. And while her life was sadly and tragically cut short, she wasn't able to live past her mid-20s. But in her short life, she did leave her mark and a legacy that shouldn't be forgotten. By aiding Thrall's escape, Taretha not only secured the future of the Horde, but also paved the way for a new era of understanding between the Orcs and humans. Her willingness to extend trust to Thrall's Orc allies, including the Frostwolf and Warsong clans, showcased the potential for peace and cooperation between the races. Jaina Proudmoore's resemblance to Taretha struck a chord with Thrall, helping him overcome his prejudices against humans and fostering trust with the Alliance. Taretha's pivotal role in demonstrating the possibility of friendship between humans and Orcs laid the foundation for future alliances, crucial in defeating threats like Manaroth and Archimonde. Her legacy endures in the Lukvadund, or Song of the Hero, making Taretha Foxton the sole human to be honored in such a manner. The Song of the Hero is a shout song composed for a specific individual. It's commonly set for the greatest within the Orcs, such as chieftains, shamans, and war chiefs. But in this one case, Taretha was given that honor among the Orcs. In the book Thrall, Twilight of the Aspects, Thrall hops through various timelines and ends up in a timeline where he didn't survive, and meets an alternate version of Taretha. But her life took a drastic turn. Her parents were unfairly blamed for the tragedy, leading to her father's demotion and her mother's untimely death. Growing up in this harsh reality, Taretha never received an education and suffered physical abuse at the hands of Aedelus Blackmoor, who eventually grew tired of her. Thrall's death had far-reaching consequences. Blackmoor, sobered by the loss, seized control of Lordaeron with his own army, enslaving the Orcs. These events hardened Taretha's once gentle demeanor. Years later, after the Battle of Blackrock Spire, Taretha encountered the Thrall from the main timeline. Initially planning to sell him into slavery, she was convinced of his true identity by a locket he wore, the one she had given him when he left Durnhold. Their conversation revealed to Taretha the different paths their lives had taken. During this conversation, Thrall tells her that his Taretha was "my sister of the spirit," and that she didn't make a difference, she made the difference. Despite learning of her own death in his timeline, Taretha found solace in knowing that she made a difference. This realization also brought comfort to Thrall, as he understood that his Taretha had likely felt the same way before her passing. Now I'm guessing that my sister the spirit means that he sees Taretha as his sister, but she's died. But that's just my best guess, because I really can't think of another meaning for that. But if you know, let me know in the comments, because I'd be curious to hear it. Vereesa Windrunner is the youngest daughter in her family with 2 older sisters, Alleria being the oldest and Sylvanas being next, along with her little brother Lyrith. Life was good for the family for many years. As a young girl, she possessed a remarkable ability to diffuse conflicts among her siblings, always striving to maintain harmony within the family. Despite the tumultuous events that unfolded over the years, including Sylvanas' transformation into a Forsaken, her love for her sister remained unwavering. Even now, her heart yearns to reunite with her sisters, refusing to abandon hope for Sylvanas' redemption, despite Alleria's occasional hostility towards her. Now we dive in before the chaos of the Second War. The young and spirited Vereesa joined the Farstriders, which is an order of Blood Elf, once High Elf elite rangers active in Quel'Thalas, swiftly becoming one of the top talents in her group. However, her zestful approach to combat earned her more than a few scoldings from tutors who mockingly likened her impatience to that of humans. Despite her training prowess, Vereesa didn't dive into the Second War action, perhaps due to a lack of battlefield experience. During that time, a mysterious fire broke out, consuming Quel'Thalas Forest during the Second War. Vereesa and Alleria found themselves under the menacing assault of forest trolls. A stroke of luck intervened as Sylvanas and her skilled rangers swooped in to rescue them, turning the tide in their favor. Now, nearing the end of the Second War, Vereesa, still a youthful elf by her kind standards, had barely surpassed a year beyond her apprenticeship. Throughout the ebbs and flows of war, her bond with Sylvanas remained a steadfast source of support and inspiration. During this tumultuous period, the orcs launched invasions into the forests, threatening the safety of Silvermoon City, while Alleria ventured afar with her ranger company to explore the world beyond. Vereesa and Sylvanas, the ranger general at the time, remained in Silvermoon. It was during this time that Vereesa made a decision that contradicted Sylvanas' wishes. Lyrith, desiring to emulate his sister's prowess in combat rather than merely playing music behind the city walls, he expressed his desire to learn to fight. Despite Sylvanas adamantly opposing the idea, Vereesa was determined to assist her brother, believing it would ensure his safety. However, her efforts possibly inadvertently placed Lyrith in harm's way. When Vereesa admitted to training Lyrith against Sylvanas' wishes, her sister's anger boiled over. Sylvanas demanded Vereesa's removal from her sight, fearing she might act rashly. Yet Vereesa's intentions were pure, driven by a desire to protect her younger brother. Despite her sister's fury, Vereesa believed she was doing what was best for Lyrith. Nonetheless, Sylvanas remained adamant, blaming Vereesa for Lyrith's fate, convinced that his death could have been avoided had he not undergone training, believing that due to the training that he had received, made him think that he could fight the orcs that were invading the area. Before embarking through the dark portal for the daring Alliance expedition to Draenor, Alleria had a plan. She aimed to give Sylvanas and Vereesa unique necklaces, fragments of a larger one bestowed upon her by their parents. This heartfelt gesture took a crafty turn in Stormwind, where the necklace underwent a transformation into 3 distinct lockets. Alleria, with a keen eye for symbolism, kept the emerald locket for herself. The sapphire and ruby counterparts were entrusted to Verana, her second, with a mission to deliver them to the awaiting sisters. With Vereesa's ruby locket, a tender inscription echoed, "To Vereesa, with love, Alleria." As fate would have it, the mysterious disappearance of Alleria and her husband Turalyon on Draenor left Vereesa with a new role to play. She embraced the responsibility of caring for their son, Eretor. Vereesa's initial mission as a ranger didn't align with her expectations. Instead of hunting orcs on Azeroth, she found herself tasked with escorting a human wizard named Ronan to Hasek, an eastern port of Lordaeron. To her surprise, their journey took an unexpected turn when they reached Hasek. Despite completing their assignment, they faced a dilemma. There were no ships available to transport Ronan to his intended destination, Khazad-dûm. Ronan, insisting on the importance of his mission, sought unconventional means to reach Khazad-dûm. Despite initial reluctance from a group of Wildhammer dwarves, Vereesa's trust in Ronan's cause led her to persuade them to aid their journey. With the dwarves' assistance, they embarked on a daring flight to Khazad-dûm. As their journey unfolded, Vereesa's intuition told her that Ronan's mission held more significance than he let on. Although they became separated during the flight, Vereesa tracked Ronan's trail to Grim Batal, a horde stronghold led by the formidable Necros Skullcrusher. In this unexpected twist of fate, Vereesa's loyalty and determination propelled her into the heart of danger, revealing the true depths of her courage. Necros wielded the Demon Soul to enslave Alexstrasza and much of the Red Dragonflight. In case you don't know, the Demon Soul was an artifact of great power created by Deathwing a little before the War of the Ancients. It's a talisman with immense power that could destroy or enslave other dragons. To counter this dark threat, Corial Straz devised a daring plan. Disguised as the mage Krasis, he decided to send Ronan to Grim Batal. While he hoped that the Horde would be deceived into believing a full-scale invasion was coming, that was not his true aim. His true goal was to free Alexstrasza. Now I'm guessing that Corial Straz was going to tell Ronan to tell the Horde that there was some invasion coming, but otherwise I don't exactly know why the Horde would think an invasion is coming with just one human going to Grim Batal. I don't have the book, so I can't really look through it, but I'm guessing if the Horde saw just one human, they might assume that there were more coming, is kind of my best guess. But either way, let's continue. As the Horde evacuated Grim Batal, Deathwing made an unexpected entrance. His sinister agenda was to seize Alexstrasza's eggs and strengthen his own failing flight. Unbeknownst to all, Deathwing had aided Ronan's journey for this very purpose. Yet the tide turned when the other dragon aspects intervened. With the help of Vereesa and a band of dwarves, Ronan seized the Demon Soul from Necros, shattering its dark power. Empowered anew, Alexstrasza and her kin confronted Deathwing, forcing him to retreat into the shadows. In the aftermath of this epic adventure, Vereesa and Ronan found love's embrace, sealing their bond in marriage. After the success of the Grim Batal mission, Vereesa received a special summons from King Tyrannus and the Kirin Tor. They entrusted her with the crucial role to serve as an Alliance ambassador. Joined by Ronan, they embarked on a journey across the Alliance lands, reminding everyone of all the looming threats other than just the Orcish menace. With the good news of becoming Alliance ambassadors, there was bad news. The Scourge had ravaged Lordaeron, Dalaran, and Quel'Thalas, with Prince Arthas leading the charge. The shadows cast by the fall of Thalorian Dawnseeker and Anasterian Sunstrider marked a dark chapter in Vereesa's life. Now, while Anasterian was the leader of Quel'Thalas, and his loss would be a big blow to Vereesa, who had known him as she grew up, it doesn't say specifically why losing Thalorian was a big blow to Vereesa. He could have been a great warrior, and so she could have been friends with him, but at the end of the quest line to put together the sword Quel'Dalar, she mentioned that losing those two was a big loss for her. Also, Thalorian was actually the original wielder of Quel'Dalar. So I'm just not exactly sure what made it such a big loss for losing Thalorian to her, other than the fact that she had lost so many of her people, and knowing another personally could have just hit harder, especially after losing Sylvanas, who they thought was dead for some time. Now, as I just mentioned, tragedy struck other members of Vereesa's family with brutal force during the Scourge invasion of Quel'Thalas. Among the hardest hit was her sister, Sylvanas. Sylvanas fell victim to the blade of Arthas Menethil and was resurrected as a Banshee in his dreadful service, ultimately becoming the Banshee Queen of the Forsaken. But the sorrow didn't end there. Their grandfather faced a heart-wrenching ordeal as he was forced to confront his own son, the girl's uncle, who had been twisted into an undead abomination by the Scourge's vile touch. In the wake of such tragic losses, Vereesa found herself navigating the turbulent waters of grief and resilience, her spirit tested by the unforgiving tides of fate. As Vereesa and Ronan eagerly anticipated the arrival of their twin children, Gurimar and Galadin, fate intervened once more as Ronan was being summoned by Krasis for aid. They had to travel back in time to the first invasion of the Burning Legion after a rift in time was discovered. However, in a stroke of fortune, Nozdormu granted Ronan a special gift. He ensured that Ronan would be present at Vereesa's side the moment she went into labor, ensuring he wouldn't miss a single precious moment of their children's lives. In a gesture of friendship, Nozdormu extended an offer for the twins to befriend the Bronze Dragonflight, adding a touch of magic to their lives from the very start. At one point in time, Vereesa shared a close bond with her cousins Taretha Windrunner. Both struggled to conform to the rigid standards of High Elven society, finding solace in their shared sense of otherness. However, as the Blood Elves emerged and sought refuge in the teachings of Kael'thas Sunstrider, Sindarin found himself drawn to their cause. The agony of his withdrawal from the Sunwell's power mirrored Vereesa's own struggles with magic's grip. In moments of reflection, Vereesa pondered whether she too might have succumbed to the allure of the Blood Elves if not for Ronan's unwavering support, which guided her through the darkest hours. The birth of her sons ushered in a new chapter filled with love and devotion, serving as a beacon of light amidst the shadows of addiction and sorrow. Through the joys of motherhood, Vereesa found strength to withstand the allure of temptation and the pain of loss. Zindarin, now transformed into a Blood Elf and harboring a deep-seated disdain for humans, hatched a sinister plan to seize Vereesa's children. Believing that the offspring of a High Elf and a human mage would wield immense magical power, he set out to kidnap them. However, his nefarious scheme ended in failure. In the novel Night of the Dragon, Vereesa resurfaces with vengeance burning in her heart. Venturing into the treacherous depths of Grimbatal, she seeks retribution against Zindarin. His latest ambition is to lay his hands on the Demon Soul, a vile creation of Deathwings, as a possible alternative magic source for his craving. But Vereesa's courage and determination foil his plans, culminating in the destruction of the Demon Soul and Zindarin himself when the stolen staff of the Naru touched the artifact. Now I have a couple of questions for this part, because it seems like the phrasing is off, or I would just need to have the books Day of the Dragon and Night of the Dragon to really get what happened and honestly understand more. But they say that the Demon Soul is destroyed in Day of the Dragon when they first left Grimbatal, at least that's what I saw. But it sounds more like it just lost all or most of its power, so it could still be used, but would need a boost of some sort from an outside source. Now during the fight, the staff of the Naru touched the Demon Soul, which from what I found normally shouldn't be possible, because the Demon Soul was shielded from all Azerothian magic. But the staff had been from Outland, and when the staff touched the Demon Soul, it expelled all of its energy when Zindarin used it. Now that's what I understood. But the very quick rundown is that Zindarin died and Vereesa was able to get her revenge for Zindarin trying to kidnap her sons. And that the Demon Soul was finally actually destroyed this time. I'd have to do a full video on the book or something to really get what is going on, because there seems to be a lot happening that I'm missing from just these little bits I'm seeing. But let's move on to the next section. Now Vereesa doesn't have a big section for Wrath, but that's because she was involved with what the Silver Covenant was doing, and I figured I would do a small chat about the Silver Covenant, but also talk about what they were up to during Wrath, and in turn talk about Vereesa at the same time. The Silver Covenant is a faction of High Elves which is led by Vereesa in Dalaran. Now there isn't a big difference between the High Elves and Blood Elves, as they are physiologically the same race, and the difference between them is really only political. I'll definitely have to do a full video on them in the future, but that's the main difference between them. When Quel'Thalas parted ways with the Alliance of Lordran, a group of High Elves made a bold decision. Despite their kingdom's departure, they remained steadfast in their loyalty to their allies. Even now, they stand firm in their support of the Alliance, a testament to their unwavering commitment to friendship and unity. Refusing to accept the Blood Elves into the Kirin Tor, they've chosen to stand apart. Instead, they've shouldered the responsibility of acting as military deterrent against any political threats from the Horde. Their counterparts within the Horde are known as the Sunreavers, mirroring their commitment to safeguarding their interests and maintaining peace amidst the ever-shifting tides of conflict. Now during Wrath of the Lich King, the Covenant held sway over the Silver Enclave, a district exclusive to the Alliance within the city of Dalaran. Safeguarding their domain were the vigilant Silver Covenant Guardian Mages. Their duty was to ward off any Horde adventurers who dared to approach too near to the Enclave's outer walls, ensuring the Alliance's security within their stronghold. The Silver Covenant harbored deep reservations about the Horde's presence in Dalaran, especially with Garrosh Hellscream leading the charge in Northrend. In response, they forged a partnership with the Alliance and became part of the Alliance Vanguard. Vereesa Windrunner, the leader of the Silver Covenant, played a pivotal role in fueling this feud. Despite lacking political authority in the city, her disapproval of the Blood Elves was clear. However, it's worth noting that several influential figures within the city, including Archmage Modera, advocated for the readmission of the Blood Elves, highlighting the complex dynamics to play within Dalaran's walls. Some of the Silver Covenant's members enlisted as battle mages with the 7th Legion, now stationed at Winterguard Keep in the Dragonblight. Notably, they operated within the fortress's arcane sanctum, with Vast the Unstable serving as their representative. Later, they established the Silver Covenant Pavilion as their base during the Ardent Tournament, where representatives from each race of the Alliance coordinated operations. As champions of the Silver Covenant, they played a crucial role in combating the Scourge force within the Frozen Walls and their Sunreaver counterparts in Dalaran. Their mission was to reclaim the magical blade Quell Dalar from the clutches of corruption by the Blood Queen Lanethel, who also appears as a raid boss within Icecrown Citadel. Venturing into the Sea Reaver's Run, the strait between Northrend and the island of Hrothgar's Landing, the Silver Covenant sailed their mighty ships, the Silver Blade and the Wavecrest, alongside the Sun Reavers who sailed the Crimson Dawn and the Firehawk. They bravely battled the Kavaldir and their summoned Kraken, defending Icecrown shores with the aid of intrepid adventurers. Now between Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm, Vereesa did attend the wedding of Malfurion and Tyrande, but nothing noteworthy happened other than that. So we move on to the events for Vereesa and Cataclysm. When the Call of Duty beckons, Vereesa finds herself summoned by the Ranger General Silvermoon, Howderon Brightwing, to address the looming threat of a resurgent troll empire gathering strength within Zul'Aman. Setting foot in Quothalas, she finds herself in the company of the Darkspear chieftain Vol'jin, alongside Brightwing. However, Vereesa's arrival is met with skepticism from the higher ranks of Silvermoon City. Lor'themar Therin, the city's leader, sends a messenger to question her presence in Quothalas. Undeterred, Vereesa passionately defends her right to stand on the soil of her homeland, vowing not to let it succumb to the ancient enemy. Howderon steps in, revealing that he personally invited Vereesa to bolster his Farstriders, recognizing the need for additional reinforcements in the face of the looming threat. With tensions eased, the two Ranger Generals, along with Vol'jin, convene to strategize and prepare for the impending battle ahead. After they strategize, the Hordor Alliance enters Zul'Aman to counter the threat within. When Jaina Proudmoore unearths treachery within Dalaran's walls, Vereesa swiftly mobilized the Silver Covenant to aid the Kirin Tor and Alliance forces in purging the Horde from the city. Their mission was to root out the Sunreaver involvement in Garrosh Hellscream's schemes, including the theft of the Divine Bell using Dalaran portals to infiltrate Darnassus. At the forefront of the action, Vereesa and the Silver Covenant played a pivotal role in preventing Sunreaver escape attempts and quelling any Horde resistance within Dalaran. They ensured that no sympathizers slipped through the cracks, neutralizing any threats to the city's security. Now this event is known as the Purge of Dalaran for an obvious reason, but Jaina had the wrong guy. She believed that Archmage Aethys Sunreaver stole the Divine Bell, which was kept under lock and key within Darnassus. But in reality, it was Garrosh who orchestrated it, and Aethys didn't know anything about it. While it was a Sunreaver agent, the agent was acting on orders from Garrosh. Now with the idea that Aethys was behind it, there was a quest to purge Dalaran of all Blood Elves from the city. But it wasn't just capturing them. You did capture some, but not all. You would kill those who were also just fleeing and not fighting from what I've read on it. I'll have to do the full quest to get the whole story of it, and I would like to do a video on it at some point. It's just another topic that I think deserves its own video. Now while serving as a secondary leader of the Kirin Tor offensive near Shadowpan Garrison, Vereesa's concerns extended beyond the immediate threat of Lei Shen's return. With her husband's death weighing heavily on her heart, she remained wary of the Horde's presence on the Isle of Thunder. Fearful of the havoc they could wreak if they gained access to Lei Shen's powers, Vereesa was driven by a dual purpose: to protect the world from potential catastrophe, and to seek vengeance for Ronan's demise. As events unfolded, Vereesa found herself alongside Jaina at the Bloodied Crossing, facing the fierce Mogu forces in battle. Together they emerged victorious against Shanbu, witnessing the tense confrontation between Jaina and Lor'themar. Despite Vereesa's reluctance to retreat, Jaina's words struck a chord, reminded that vengeance wouldn't bring back her husband. She reluctantly retreated after that realization and got to safety with Jaina. Continuing her courageous journey, Vereesa joined King Varian Wryn's forces in the fight to seize Bladefist Bay from Hellscream's grip. Amidst the chaos of battle, she played a crucial role in the Galakras encounter, standing firm alongside her allies in the face of adversity. Now we move on to the events within the book War Crimes, which showed the trial of Garrosh for his crimes during Pandaria. Vereesa stood by Jaina's side as they faced the trial of Garrosh Hellscream, her heart heavy with grief and fury over the loss of her husband. Fueled by a desire for vengeance, Vereesa yearned for justice to be served swiftly and decisively. However, as the trial unfolded, Vereesa's hopes began to wane. It seemed increasingly likely that Garrosh might escape with lesser punishment or even walk free. Unwilling to accept such an outcome, Vereesa turned to Sylvanas, seeking a more permanent solution. Sending her ruby necklace as a token of trust, which was originally sent to Vereesa from Illyria, Illyria sent a necklace to her sisters as a way to ensure they knew that she was thinking of them. Within the locket, Illyria inscribed, "To Vereesa, with love, Illyria." and within Sylvanas' locket it reads, "To Sylvanas, love always, Illyria." Vereesa arranged a clandestine meeting at Windrunner Spire. There, she implored Sylvanas for a potent poison, hoping to end Garrosh's life once and for all. Despite their initial wariness, the sisters found common ground as they reminisced about their pasts, their shared losses, and the paths they had each chosen. Through their unexpected bond, Vereesa found solace and strength, knowing that even in the darkest of times, family could offer a glimmer of light and understanding. As Vereesa and Sylvanas forged their unlikely alliance, Vereesa began to question her allegiance to the alliance. Sensing her sister's uncertainty, Sylvanas extended a tempting offer. Vereesa could join her ranks in the Forsaken and share in ruling power. Together they could wield unparalleled influence, shaping their own destiny as Windrunners. Impressed by the effectiveness of their plan to eliminate Garrosh, a feat neither the Horde nor the Alliance had achieved, Vereesa found herself drawn to Sylvanas' proposition. Though hesitant at first, she agreed to entertain the idea, intrigued by the prospect of a new path and the promise of wielding significant influence alongside her sister. On the solemn day in court, Vereesa was confronted with the heart-wrenching sight of Ronan's final moments in Theramore, revealed through the haunting vision of time. She saw how Ronan sacrificed himself to ensure that the mana bomb coming for Theramore was going to stay more localized within Jaina's tower, which had protective magic in and out of it. He couldn't escape because he had to keep casting the spell to ensure the bomb got into the tower to try and reduce casualties and ensure the blast radius wouldn't reach to Vereesa. Along with that, he made sure that Jaina made it out alive so she could lead the Kirin Tor. Overwhelmed by sorrow and rage at her husband's sacrifice, she sought solace in the dark embrace of Tirisfal Glades. It was there that she met with Sylvanas, who had provided the means to end Garrosh's life, a poison of superior potency. Vereesa, drawn to the eerie beauty of the glades, found herself growing fond of the place that would soon become her new home. Little did she know, Sylvanas harbored a hidden agenda. Unbeknownst to Vereesa, her sister planned to end her life and resurrect her as a powerful banshee, ensuring their eternal rule over the Forsaken. While Vereesa's affinity for Tirisfal Glades pleased Sylvanas, the full extent of her sister's intention remained veiled in darkness. Immersing herself in the bustling kitchens of the temple, Vereesa seized the opportunity to access Garrosh's meal. Setting aside any hesitation, she skillfully laced his food with the deadly poison, marking a pivotal step in her mission. As the weight of her actions settled upon her, Vereesa found herself torn between her allegiance with Sylvanas and her responsibilities as a mother. While the allure of ruling alongside her sister and reclaiming her place in Silvermoon beckoned, unexpected encounters with the cook, Mulam Shao, and a poignant meeting with Anduin Wrynn stirred feelings of longing for her sons back in Dalaran. Realizing that her children had no place in the Forsaken's realm, Vereesa made the difficult choice to return to Dalaran, vowing never to abandon her boys again. With a heavy heart, she penned a letter to Sylvanas, informing her of her decision. For Sylvanas, Vereesa's departure dealt a devastating blow. Having trusted her sister deeply, she had let her guard down, unaware of the imminent fracture in their alliance. Before departing, Vereesa confided in Anduin about her plan to poison Garrosh, entrusting the fate of the war chief to the young prince. In that moment, Anduin faced a weighty decision, whether to intervene and save Garrosh, or to let events unfold as Vereesa intended. In an act of mercy and compassion, Anduin chose to spare Garrosh's life, electing to rescue him from the brink of death. Despite this decision, he remained loyal to Vereesa, honoring her trust by keeping her secret safe. Upon receiving the intel about Illyria's location, Vereesa wasted no time. At this point, Illyria was still with the Army of Light, so no one really knew where she was or even if she was actually alive. Journeying to the Darkstone Isle on the Broken Shore, she united with the Farstriders to strategize a daring rescue mission, seeking aid from the mysterious leader-to-be of the Unseen Pack, which is the player character. Vereesa faced a daunting challenge, trusting a demon's word. Despite her reservations, Vereesa chose to gamble on the demon's claim that Illyria and her legendary bow were held captive on the Legion-infested world of Niskara. While Ranger Orestes voiced concern over the deeply personal nature of the mission, Vereesa insisted it was solely to recover a vital asset. Determined to proceed cautiously, she barred Orestes from joining until Illyria's presence was confirmed. However, he defied her orders, risking his life to forge ahead. As Vereesa navigated the treacherous terrain of Niskara, she encountered fierce resistance. Tragically, Orestes fell in battle, urging Vereesa to press on and rescue Illyria.
It's so cold.
Orestes. Try to... Orestes!
Good luck, friends. Save Valeria.
Rest in the light, Orestes.
Despite a harrowing encounter with a demonic inquisitor, Illyria remained elusive, leaving behind only her bow as a tantalizing lure.
I felt those eyes peering into my soul. Had you not freed me yet? Enough. I must know if Valeria was truly held captive here, or if this was all a ruse to trap us. Valeria was here. Her bow's presence is the proof. Doubtless she escaped, and the Inquisitor sought to use me to lure her back.
Vereesa resolved to inform Haldoran Brightwing of Oresta's sacrifice. Through the shadows of loss and uncertainty, she recognized the Hunter Champion as a beacon of hope and valor, honoring them as a hero worthy of standing alongside her legendary sister. After her daring mission, Vereesa returned to True Shot Lodge, where she shared the details of her journey with Haldoran, proudly representing the Silver Covenant within the ranks of the Unseen Path, a coalition of hunters from across Azeroth. Vereesa pledged her order's support to the newly appointed leader. Embracing her role as a member of the Unseen Path, Vereesa joined forces with her fellow hunters in a pivotal battle against Hakar the Houndmaster within the confines of the Violet Hold. Together they fought valiantly to secure victory and safeguard their world from the threat he posed. Vereesa, alongside Tyrande and her Vigilant Sentinels, embarks on a crucial mission to Suramar. Leading a contingent of Silver Covenant war mages, they rally to support the Nightfallen rebels in their valiant struggle to reclaim their city from the clutches of the Burning Legion. Driven by a burning desire for vengeance following the loss of Ronan and King Varian, Vereesa remains wary of the nearby Horde forces under Lady Liadrin and Grandmaster Romoth. Despite her reservations, a fragile truce is forged between the opposing armies, albeit with tension simmering beneath the surface. An uneasy alliance takes shape. Kirin guards observe Vereesa's fiery confrontations with Romoth, with Khadgar forced to intervene to prevent bloodshed on more than one occasion. Amidst the turmoil, Vereesa grapples with the surreal reality of sharing a camp with the Kaldarai, acknowledging the dire circumstances that have brought them together. Now in the wiki, it says that Vereesa was surprised to be sharing a camp with the Kaldarai, but as far as I know and from what I was able to research, the Kaldarai are just the Night Elves, and so I don't exactly get why she's surprised to be sharing a camp with the Night Elves since she is on the Alliance side, and she's worked with the Alliance and the Night Elves multiple times. But I could be missing something for why she is surprised. But I didn't see a specific quest for when she mentions that, so I couldn't really confirm it or get the full context. But in the future, I plan to play through all of Legion, so I can hopefully get the full story of what's going on there, and maybe she wasn't specifically talking about the Kaldarai, but maybe the Blood Elves or the Highborn, possibly. But it just says Kaldarai, so from what I saw in the wiki, the Kaldarai is just the Night Elves. Unless they're talking about Ajara, which is also possible she turned into Naga. So, I'm not exactly sure, but let's continue. With the fate of Suramar hanging in the balance, Vereesa navigates the delicate balance of trust and treachery, knowing that the impending battle will test the limits of their resolve and unity. In the heat of the battle, Vereesa joins forces with the Elven army as they launch a daring assault on Suramar. Together, they bravely press forward, facing relentless opposition until they stand at the very gates of the imposing Nighthold itself. As tensions reach a boiling point, Grand Magistrix Elisanda emerges to confront the rebels, her disdain for Vereesa and her kin evident in her cutting words. With cruel mockery, she belittles the Quel'Darai, which is another name for the High Elves, as mere peasants, masquerading as nobility, dismissing their proud heritage and condemning their mingling with other races. With a flick of her hand, Elisanda unleashes the full force of her time-warping magic, ensnaring the entire Elven army, Vereesa included, in a relentless temporal prison. Trapped in a frozen moment, they are left powerless to resist, their valiant efforts thwarted by the sinister machinations of the Grand Magistrix. Later on, when she's accompanied by her nephew Eretor, Vereesa embarks on a journey to Argus aboard the remarkable dimensional ship, the Vindicar. Amidst the vast expanse of the cosmos, she bears witness to a heartfelt reunion, the long-awaited return of her sister Illyria and Illyria's beloved husband, Taretha. As the family gathers, Eretor broaches the difficult topic with Vereesa, pondering the fate of Sylvanas and the delicate matter of which to disclose that to their mother. With a heavy heart, Vereesa confides in Eretor, expressing her apprehension at the prospect of revealing the painful truth to Illyria, knowing all too well the anguish it will bring. When Vereesa shared the news with Illyria that Sylvanas had become the war chief of the Horde, Illyria struggled to accept the revelation, grappling with the Horde's turbulent history with their people. Uncertain of how to broach the sensitive topic of Sylvanas' undead status, Vereesa hesitated, questioning whether the timing and setting were appropriate. As Illyria sought clarity, Vereesa recognized the need for a private conversation to address her sister's concerns. Vereesa resolved to find the right moment to reveal the unsettling truth. But right now was not the time. Following Sargeras' imprisonment by the Pantheon at the seat of the Pantheon, Vereesa observed the profound transformation in Illyria as she grappled with newfound void powers beyond her comprehension. Despite the changes, Vereesa cherished the unwavering bond with her sister, acknowledging Illyria's evolution while holding on to the essence of who she truly was. Finally, Vereesa was able to tell the truth about what happened to Sylvanas. Understanding the weight of Sylvanas' revelation on Illyria, Vereesa recognized the importance of addressing the matter directly, acknowledging that certain issues demanded a personal confrontation. With resolve in her heart, Vereesa knew that the Windrunner sisters needed to come together, and there was only one place suitable for such a pivotal encounter. They had to meet together at their home, Windrunner Spire. In the heart of the Silver Enclave, Vereesa gathered her sons to discuss the imminent reunion of the Windrunner sisters. As they pondered the prospect of healing old wounds, Guramar expressed hope that their family could come back together and fix the problems from the past. However, Galadin's skepticism prevailed as he condemned Aunt Sylvanas for her alliance with the Horde, the very faction that had taken their father's life. Amidst the debate, Guramar urged for empathy, suggesting that branding others as evil might only provoke them to embrace darkness further. On the contrary, Galadin remained steadfast in his distrust of the undead, skeptical of any potential goodness within them. Vereesa intervened, reminding her sons of the unbreakable bond they shared as brothers, hinting at the strength they might find in each other in times of need, a sentiment echoed in her own memories of past times with her sisters. With a final embrace, Vereesa bid her sons farewell, their agreement to her wisdom resonating in the air. As she stepped into the shimmering embrace of a Silver Covenant portal, Vereesa carried with her the hope of reconciliation and the echoes of familial resilience. Arriving in the serene embrace of Eversong Woods, Vereesa and Illyria reunited in their cherished sanctuary. With tender affection, Illyria greeted her sister as Little Moon, evoking fond memories of their shared past. Vereesa, with her radiant locks, reciprocated by playfully calling Illyria Lady Sun, as she did when they were growing up. Though with Illyria's recent entanglement with the Void, she felt she could no longer carry that name. Curious about Illyria's experience with the Void, Vereesa sought reassurance from her sister. Illyria affirmed her resilience against the darkness, crediting her unwavering love for her family as her guiding light. As they delved into their shared history, they reminisced about the tumultuous events that unfolded during Illyria's absence. From the Alliance-Horde conflict ignited by Garrosh Hellscream to the tragic loss of Ronan and the devastation of Theramore. Their conversation turned to Sylvanas, whose mysterious nature troubled Vereesa. Despite a brief collaboration to seek retribution against Garrosh, Vereesa's growing unease led her to warn Anduin Wrynn, thwarting the plot to poison the former warchief. Illyria, however, found solace in returning to their homeland, finding hope in the prospect of a fresh start amidst cherished memories of their shared past and their beloved brother, Vereesa Windrunner. Their nostalgic reflection was interrupted by Sylvanas, whose unexpected presence stirred a mix of emotions. Despite initial surprise, Illyria extended a warm greeting to Sylvanas, reverting to an old nickname, Lady Moon. In the shadowed realm of the Ghostlands, Sylvanas recounted the tragic tale of Arthas Menethel's ruthless assault on Quel'Thalas to Illyria. Equipped with skeletal steeds, the Windrunner siblings embarked on a mission to cleanse their ancestral lands of the undead scourge. Amidst their journey, they engaged in a playful game of One is a Lie, sharing anecdotes and secrets along the way. Their path led them to Golden Mist Village, where spectral echoes of their past haunted the landscape. As they battled the haunting shades, tension simmered between the sisters. Illyria accused Sylvanas of orchestrating Vereesa's involvement in Garrosh Hellscream's demise, sparking a heated exchange. Sylvanas in turn defended her actions, revealing that it was Vereesa's plan to poison Garrosh, and that she is to blame for Garrosh's action afterwards. Garrosh was able to escape to an alternate Draenor that was set 35 years in the past, which from what I was able to find, seems like how he ends up in the Warlords of Draenor. Now back to the sisters. Fueled by rage, Sylvanas unleashed her banshee powers upon the Shades, revealing a darker side of her nature. Horrified by her sister's brutality, Alleria succumbed to the whispers of the void, denouncing Sylvanas as irredeemable. Sylvanas retorted that she was forced into undeath, while Alleria chose to become a void abomination. As tensions flared between the sisters, Vereesa intervened, expressing her own grievances. "Stop it! Neither of you was there when I needed you. You both let me think you were dead. Do you know what that did to me? You were my heroes. We've all lost so much. Must we lose everything, again?" Attempting to defuse the situation, Vereesa urged them to focus on their shared goal of reclaiming their homeland from the undead. In a moment of vulnerability, Vereesa shared her deepest truths, her hopes for reconciliation with the Blood Elves, her lingering grief over Ronan's death, and her envy of Alleria's bond with Thassarian. Alleria, in turn, confided her doubts about her relationship with Thassarian and the fractures within their family. Sylvanas' answers were, there are times she wished she was still alive. She is proud to be the war chief of the Horde, and the last one was she would never betray her sisters. However, when it came time for Sylvanas to reveal her truths, she remained silent, refusing to participate. Accepting the fractures within their family, Alleria created a void portal to return Vereesa to Dalaran, symbolically dropping their necklaces from the spire. Before departing, Vereesa tearfully apologized to Sylvanas for her change of heart regarding their plot with Garrosh, expressing hope for forgiveness. With a heavy heart, she bid farewell to her sisters and returned to her sons in Dalaran. After the two sisters departed, it was revealed which of Sylvanas' statements was actually a lie. She had rangers waiting in the trees for Sylvanas to give a signal to kill her sisters, but she changed her mind, stating that, in the end, they will serve death. They will serve me. In a strategic move to thwart Sylvanas and address the looming threat of N'Zoth, Varrock Saurfang and the Alliance prepared to confront her forces in Orgrimmar. Their camp set in Razor Hill, they readied for battle. However, their plans took an unexpected turn when Vereesa and Alleria approached Varrock and Anduin with a proposition. Alleria, aware of the grave danger posed by N'Zoth, suggested that Sylvanas might hold the key to defeating the Old God with their formidable army. She proposed that the Alliance and Horde revolutionaries step aside and allow Sylvanas to tackle this greater threat. Yet Anduin, mindful of Sylvanas' treachery and her role in the catastrophe at Queen Ajara's hands, countered Alleria's proposal. He stressed that Sylvanas couldn't be trusted, and that defeating her was imperative before they faced further calamity. Acknowledging the necessity of dealing with Sylvanas first, Alleria conceded. She and Vereesa pledged to scout Sylvanas' defenses, seeking out weaknesses in preparation for the impending battle. With this agreement, the Alliance and Horde revolutionaries united in their resolve to confront Sylvanas and ensure the safety of Azeroth. As Vereesa braced herself to confront Sylvanas' formidable forces, Varrock Saurfang, torn between loyalty to the Horde and his disdain for Sylvanas' tyranny, took a bold stand. Recognizing the need to end the bloodshed among the Horde, Saurfang issued a challenge to Sylvanas, a duel known as Mat Gara. In a tense confrontation, Saurfang's words struck a chord with Sylvanas, leading her to confess her true feelings about the Horde.
The Horde is nothing! If you could see yourselves as I see you. Toy soldiers in tin plate. Beasts who howl for honor, standing as one. Savor it. Nothing lasts.
In a swift and decisive move, she struck down Saurfang, revealing her disregard for the very faction she once led. Sylvanas' defection shook the foundations of the Horde, prompting her former loyalists to rally behind Saurfang's cause. With Sylvanas gone and Saurfang's revolution gaining momentum, the Horde found unity once more. In the wake of Saurfang's sacrifice and Sylvanas' departure, Vereesa and the Alliance forces chose to withdraw from Durotar, their mission to confront Sylvanas' forces now altered by an unexpected turn of events. As the events in Shadowlands drew to a close, Sylvanas experienced a profound reunion with a fragment of her soul that had long been absent. With the jailer defeated, Vereesa and Ilaria journeyed to Oribos to witness Sylvanas' trial, presided over by none other than her longtime adversary, Taretha Whisperwind. Taretha's verdict was swift. Sylvanas was tasked with a daunting penance, to venture into the maw and liberate the souls trapped within, particularly those of the Night Elves she had condemned. Without hesitation, Sylvanas accepted her fate, sharing a final glance with Vereesa and Ilaria before plunging into the abyss. Remaining in the Ring of Transference, Vereesa and Ilaria reflected on their profound losses in the hope that one day Sylvanas would complete her redemption. They held on to that belief. Perhaps then, they could reunite with the sister they once knew. Once a valiant soldier of Lordaeron, Thassarian embarked on a chilling quest with Arthas to Northrend during the Third War, ultimately unraveling a tale of betrayal, sacrifice, and enduring camaraderie. His encounter with Frostmourne Cavern embarked the tragic turn of events, leading to his untimely demise and rebirth as a Death Knight. Before the Scourge cast its chilling shadow, Thassarian led a simple life as a farm boy under the guidance of his father, a farmer and soldier. The invaluable lesson imparted by his father echoed throughout his existence. If soldiers don't follow orders, defeat is sure to follow. When tragedy struck and his father fell, presumably to the orcs during the Second War, Thassarian became the man of the house and watched over the farm, his mother Vivienne, and his sister Larissa. As rumors of the plague spread, Thassarian became the vigilant protector of his home, keeping watch through the night while his sister Larissa dismissed the threat as mere gossip. Eventually, fueled by a desire to fulfill his father's legacy, Thassarian enlisted in a nearby barracks, training under family friend William Allerton and the seasoned Sergeant Yaval. His determination for success led him into a melee competition where promotion was promised for the victor, and he wanted that promotion badly. After overcoming 3 opponents, a dagger narrowly missed Thassarian's head in the final round. Though denied the promotion, Sergeant Yaval reminded him of the pride in being a skilled soldier who wins battles, wisdom echoing his father's teachings. The plot thickened when Prince Arthas urgently called for all available soldiers to join him in a hunt. Thassarian accepted the call, aware this might be the last time he'd see his family. The narrative painted a poignant picture of a young farm boy evolving into a soldier, fueled by the wisdom of his father and the love of his family. Before he set off to Northrend with Arthas, his mother Vivienne gave him an amulet that belonged to his father as a blessing, a heartfelt blessing for the challenging path he had chosen. But sadly, that wouldn't be enough to protect Thassarian from his fate. Within Frostmourne Cavern, he found Falric, who was a member of the King's Guard and served as the right-hand man of Prince Arthas. He had already been converted into a Death Knight by Arthas. Falric slayed Thassarian, and then Arthas raised him as a Death Knight, serving as a lieutenant to Arthas. He returned to Lordaeron with Arthas, where he was compelled to commit unspeakable acts, including the heartbreaking slaying of his own mother. She pleaded with him to not do it, but he couldn't resist and obeyed his master's commands, striking her down where she stood. After killing her, he tossed the amulet that she had given him, which was retrieved by William Allerton, who was a family friend and had a crush on Thassarian's sister. This gruesome chapter clung to him, a saddening reminder of the humanity slipping away. The narrative unfolded further amidst the conflict in Quel'Thalas, where Thassarian's encounter with High Elves, Koltira, and Faltora revealed glimpses of compassion amid the chaos. His pivotal choice to spare Faltora, influenced by the memory of his mother, showcased a fragile thread of humanity in the face of darkness. Later on, Koltira confronted and questioned Thassarian about him not killing Faltora, in an attempt to bring his humanity back. But this attempt failed, and Thassarian ended up killing Koltira, who was raised into undeath by another Death Knight. Despite this incident, they have developed a friendship that lasts to this day. As the years passed, the Lich King's orders thrust Thassarian into a dire battle at Light's Hope Chapel, where many family members of the Death Knights were buried, where familial bonds and spirits intervened. Convinced by his father's spirit, Kil'jaeden, to stand down, Thassarian played a pivotal role in the Declaration of Independence for the Knights of the Ebon Blade. His journey led him to Stormwind, forging alliances and restoring hope as the Knights found acceptance within the folds of the Alliance under the leadership of King Varian Wrynn. His next adventure would see him embarking on an extraordinary journey with the Alliance, which led him to the icy realms of Northrend. Enlisting with the Valiance expedition, he rose through the ranks to become the leader of Unit S, a group entrusted with a perilous mission against the Lich King. As they marched towards the ominous Wailing Ziggurat, the narrative took a dark turn. Unleashing Scourge technology against their common enemy, the expedition faced unexpected adversaries, ferocious beasts threatening their very survival. Amidst the chaos, Thassarian raised a skeletal warrior named Lurid to aid in the battle. The plot thickened as suspicions arose. Was their mission a noble cause, or were they unwittingly walking into a trap? The revelation that a spy from the Cult of the Damned lurked within Unit S added a layer of intrigue to the unfolding drama. Only two survived the treacherous encounter, Thassarian and his skeletal companion Lurid. In the climax of his expedition to uncover the mysterious cult in Borean Tundra, a startling revelation awaited Thassarian. The seemingly trustworthy Counselor Talbot was unmasked as none other than Prince Valinar. The plot thickened atop Naxanar, where Thassarian stumbled upon a shocking scene, a confrontation between Valinar and the eerie projection of the Lich King. The stakes were high as Valinar was going to turn over General Arlos and Larissa to the menacing figure. A fierce battle ensued with Thassarian pitted against the deceptive prince. In a display of skill and determination, Thassarian emerged victorious, rescuing his sister and the general. As the dust settled, a heartfelt farewell was exchanged with his sister, accompanied by a solemn promise to return once his mission reached its conclusion. In the aftermath, the story transitioned to Thassarian's relentless pursuit of justice in Icecrown Citadel. Armed with intricate knowledge of the Scourge, his quest involved dispatching soldiers to gather intelligence, neutralizing plague cauldrons, and eliminating key Scourge figures. Collaborating with Koltira Deathweaver, their combined efforts shattered the seemingly impenetrable gates made of Saronite, enabling the Alliance and Horde to invade the heart of the Scourge's power. The climax unfolded in the Cathedral of Darkness, where Thassarian, alongside Koltira and their Ebon Blade brethren, faced the malevolent Arthas Menethil. Their timely intervention relieved the surrounded Argent Crusaders, and the showdown against the Lich King commenced. Despite Tyrion's destruction of the Lich King's heart, Thassarian grappled with the decision to let the weakened adversary live. But there was no time to finish off Arthas, as he was casting a spell that would kill all in the room, so they had to leave then or die, and it was better to live today to take on the Lich King later. Amidst victories and regrets, the saga of Thassarian and Northrend painted a vivid picture of heroism, betrayal, and the enduring struggle against the ever-looming shadow of the Lich King. In the struggle for Anderhall's fate, Anderhall is where the plague was initially distributed from. Thassarian leads the Alliance, claiming the west, while Koltira Deathweaver and the Forsaken hold the east. Amid the battle for Anderhall, Alliance heroes at Thassarian's command confront the lingering Scourge menace. After defeating the undead leaders, a truce emerges between Thassarian and Koltira. Yet peace is short-lived. Sometime later, human farmers formed a militia and launched a sneak attack on Koltira's Forsaken forces. With his hand forced by their action, he resumed the war with the Forsaken. With victory almost in Alliance's grasp, the Forsaken started raising the dead using the Valkyr. The Alliance was forced to retreat due to being overwhelmed. Everyone retreats to Chillwind Camp, but in the chaos, Thassarian left behind his loyal minion Lurid, who meets a tragic end. It is unknown why he didn't resurrect Lurid, but the best guess is that with the battle going on, there was no time to run back and resurrect him. The Battle of Anderhall concludes, but Thassarian's quest for answers propels him to Tirisfal Glades. There, he sets out to unravel the mystery surrounding Koltira, venturing into the unknown to confront Sylvanas and unveil the fate of his friend. Now in Legion, Thassarian embarks on a unique quest, joining forces with the Deathlord, or the player character, to assemble the new Four Horsemen. Their journey took them to Durotar, where Nazgrim was resurrected with a summons to battle. In Stromgarde, a confrontation unfolded with remnants of the Witherbark tribe, revealing a resilient Galen Trollbane determined to defend his kingdom. Faced with treachery and accusations, Thassarian, losing his patience, urges the Dreadlord to use a family heirloom to open a tomb. Raising Galen's father Thor's Trollbane stirred a haunting revelation of loss and destruction. Despite the ruins of Stromgarde, Thassarian conveyed a message of hope, insisting that Azeroth still held a chance for redemption. The Scarlet Monastery became the stage for the resurrection of the Third Horseman, High Inquisitor Whitemane. Thassarian believed in her potential atonement, acknowledging the high price to be paid, yet resolved to face it alongside his allies. The narrative took a turn during the battle for the Exodar, where Thassarian and Nazgrim clashed with High General Rakish. Doubts crept in as Thassarian questioned Nazgrim's strategy, especially when the orc insisted on pausing repeatedly to cast a powerful spell against each individual demon invader. The journey unfolded with a mix of intricate alliances, personal sacrifices, and the ever-present struggle for redemption in the face of adversity. Eventually, the Fourth Horseman would turn out to be Darian Mograine, after the Deathlord and him would go to try and resurrect Tyrion Fordring, who fell during the Legion invasion, into being the Fourth Horseman. Darian got badly wounded and was brought back by Bolvar and made the leader of the Four Horsemen. In Oribos, Thassarian and Koltira gaze upon the ominous maw. Reflecting on his own journey, Thassarian shares the memory of being resurrected into undeath after valiantly defending Lordaeron. As they stand at the precipice, he muses on the seemingly insignificant wars between the Alliance and Horde, realizing that the true horrors lie beyond the shattered veil. With a hint of regret, Thassarian observes that it takes a profound moment, like the revelation of the shattered veil, for the living citizens of the Alliance to recognize the weight of their struggles. He laments, "Such is the curse of living. They grasp the importance only when their time is at hand." The scene unfolds as a touching reminder of the fleeting nature of understanding and the profound impact of confronting realities beyond the known conflicts. Now let's talk about Koltira. In the heart of Quel'Thalas, amidst the chaos of a Scourge invasion, Koltira's destiny intertwined with that of Thassarian. Anduin, the battlefield where fate played its hand, witnessed the valiant defense led by Koltira alongside his brother Faltora and the High Elf Mariel. However, tragedy struck swiftly as Mariel fell in battle, and Faltora faced the relentless Thassarian, meeting a swift defeat. Remarkably, Koltira observed a momentary hesitation in Thassarian's actions. As Faltora attempted to escape, he met his demise at the hands of an abomination. Yet Koltira managed to evade the clutches of death. Hours later, Koltira, driven by a blend of vengeance and uncertainty, ambushed Thassarian. Recognizing the internal struggle within the Death Knight, Koltira extended an unexpected offer, a chance to break free from the Scourge's grip. Thassarian rebuffed the offer but spared Koltira's life. The following day, as a Scourge breached Silvermoon, Koltira and Thassarian resumed their duel. In a bitter twist of fate, Thassarian emerged victorious, claiming Koltira's life. From death, Koltira rose anew as a Death Knight, another pawn in the Scourge's sinister game. Surprisingly, despite their bloody history, Thassarian and Koltira found an unconventional brotherhood in their shared service under Arthas. Years passed and the Lich King commanded them to join High Lord Darian Mograin's forces, unleashing their might upon the Argent Dawn at Light's Hope Chapel. Assigned to Acheris the Ebonhold, Koltira, Thassarian, and Orbaz Bloodbane embarked on a mission to infiltrate enemy lines and gather intelligence on the mysterious Crimson Dawn. Amidst the peril, Koltira faced capture, and Thassarian, defying Scourge doctrine, risked all to secure his comrade's freedom. In the climactic battle for Light's Hope Chapel, Tyrion Fordring's intervention with the Ashbringer shattered the Lich King's control, liberating the Knights of the Ebon Blade. Koltira and Thassarian, once bound by servitude, now stood at a crossroads. They parted ways, Thassarian aligning with the Alliance, while Koltira grappled with allegiance, torn between his Blood Elf kin in the Horde and the allure of the Alliance with Thassarian. Guided by Thassarian's counsel to stay with his people, Koltira pledged himself to the Horde, enlisting under Overlord Agmar at Agmar's Hammer. Yet beneath the surface of newfound belonging, shadows of pursuit loomed over Koltira's existence. Despite the parting of their ways, the bond of brotherhood endured between Koltira and Thassarian. In the quiet promise of Thassarian's willingness to aid Koltira if ever called upon, the echoes of their shared history resonated through the shifting landscapes of Azeroth. In the midst of the Lich King's reign of terror, Koltira found himself at Agmar's Hammer, the formidable Horde fortress in Dragonblight. He led strikes against local Scourge threats, determined to crush the enemy forces. Later, aboard Orgrim's Hammer, he joined the fight against the Lich King's power bases in the region, dispensing missions to undermine the undead menace. As a former minion of the Scourge, Koltira possessed valuable insights. Utilizing this knowledge, he dispatched random soldiers on daring missions to gather intelligence on the cult, procure flesh giant spines, neutralize plague cauldrons, and eliminate key Scourge figures. While collaborating with Thassarian, he and adventurers were able to take down the 3 main gates to get into the courtyard of the Citadel. From there, they had a chance to take on the Lich King in the Cathedral of Darkness, but had to retreat after destroying his heart due to Arthas casting a spell that would kill them had they stayed. In the turbulent aftermath of the Cataclysm, a fierce conflict erupted between the Alliance and the Forsaken over the strategic stronghold of Anderhall in the Western Plaguelands. Thassarian, leading the Alliance forces, seized control of the town's western part, while Koltira, at the helm of the Horde, claimed domination over the eastern section. In the heat of the battle for Anderhall, Koltira strategically deployed Horde heroes to eliminate lingering Scourge threats. Following the successful eradication of the undead menace, an unexpected truce emerged between Thassarian and Koltira. However, the fleeting peace was shattered when human farmers, harboring a grudge, organized a clandestine assault on Koltira's Forsaken forces. Facing the sudden aggression, Koltira valiantly defended against the Alliance onslaught and tasked the player with seeking out Lindsay Ravensun, a figure he had previously underestimated. Surprisingly, upon meeting with Ravensun, her true identity was unveiled. She was none other than the elusive Dark Lady, Sylvanas. In a strategic maneuver, she dispatched Horde agents and powerful Valkyr to overturn the tides of the battle, swiftly defeating the Alliance forces. With victory achieved, Sylvanas confronted Koltira about his truce with Thassarian, expressing dissatisfaction, labeling him as weak. A portal to the Undercity materialized, and Koltira found himself forcefully pulled through by a hooked chain. In the depths of the Undercity, Sylvanas sought to cleanse Koltira of any lingering compassion for Thassarian, molding him into a dedicated servant not just for the Horde, but specifically of Sylvanas and the Forsaken cause. During the long years of Koltira's imprisonment, the Ebon Blade tirelessly attempted negotiations with Sylvanas for his freedom, but every plea fell on deaf ears. Whether aware or not of these efforts, Koltira clung to hope, believing that his order persisted in trying to secure his release. As the ominous Third Invasion of the Burning Legion loomed over Azeroth, Thassarian, fueled by a personal mission, approached the new Death Lord of the Ebon Blade. His plea was straightforward: aid him in rescuing Koltira from the clutches of the Undercity. Through collaborative efforts, the Death Lord and Thassarian navigated the treacherous path, successfully liberating Koltira from the confines of the Apothecarium. Post-liberation, Koltira, preferring to keep the details of his captivity shrouded, redirected his focus to the impending invasion. Declining to dwell on the past, he expressed a desire to concentrate on the pressing challenges that lay ahead. The narrative unfolded with a blend of persistence, camaraderie, and a newfound determination to face the imminent threats on Azeroth. Later on, when Sylvanas had broken the barrier between Azeroth and the Shadowlands, him and Thassarian made it to Oribos, where they stand gazing at the Maw, talking with Thassarian about life and death, along with patrolling the area to protect it from the Mawsworn. And that's going to do it for this video, but I hope you enjoyed it and learned something about these two characters as I did. But before we end off for the day, I wanted to say that if you're going through a tough time, it is good to take a lesson from Koltira. Just as he did with not wanting to dwell on his past, you shouldn't either. Easier said than done, I know. But just remember to learn from your past, but don't live there. Learn from your mistakes and keep pushing on and be a better person. Keep it up, you're doing great. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.